In this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly why I'm going all in on AI. For reference, I'm currently running a content agency. We do anywhere between around 35,000 all the way to 50,000 per month. I'm still going to be running it in the background, but all my time and attention is strictly going to be focused on building AI. Okay, so this is going to be AI softwares, etc. And I'm going to be breaking down exactly why I'm going to be doing it and why, if you run a coaching program, agency, why I think you should too. So let's get it. And in order for me to really show this to you guys, what I've actually broken down, I've made a quick Miro board to really show my findings. So in my opinion, there's 3 key stages when it comes to any sort of online business, really in my world, like the content world, lead gen world, ad world. There's 3, and this is going to be agency, so this is what I'm currently at, level 1, level 2, coaching and consulting, and then finally SaaS. So what I'm essentially doing, I'm skipping out this whole entire stage and I'm jumping straight to SaaS. But before I get into this and really propose to you my argument on why I think you should get into SaaS and AI as well, I need to give you insight into my current agency, the problems behind it, and what I love behind it. Firstly, in my opinion, if you've never made a business before in your life, you have no business experience, there is no better starting point than an agency. First and foremost, $0 to start. I started with $0 and I make 50,000 per month. I didn't need to invest any sort of capital upfront to get my first ever client. I had nothing to lose. I either made 50,000 a month or I just stayed in the exact same position as I was a year ago. Nothing to lose. Next, no prior business experience. And then finally, you learn great skills. Even if you only make 5 or 10K, I say only, still a good amount. The main thing you're really going to be getting out of this agency model is incredible skill sets that you can carry with you for the rest of your life. And that's why it's great. But the problem I face, and the problem most agency owners face, they are viewed by the marketplace as a commodity. So just to really give you a quick breakdown of what a commodity is, I'll ask ChatGPT. What is a commodity when it comes to an online service business? A commodity refers to services that is largely undifferentiated and easily replaceable by other businesses, meaning the main basis for competition is often on price rather than value or quality. And I'm sure if you're an agency owner, you've seen this exact thing. You're viewed by the marketplace literally as a commodity. You're just racing straight down to the bottom with your competitors when it comes onto your price. And this is a huge issue, okay? And the reason behind agencies being seen as a huge commodity, to really just go back up to here, it comes down to, well, really, these 2 main points. A $0 startup, and you don't need any experience. Meaning that there's no geographical restrictions or monetary restrictions. As long as you have a decent laptop, you can literally buy one for $100, an internet connection, you can go and set up an agency, meaning the competition's crazy. And I'm all for competition. I think it's incredible. But the issue really comes down to when you're competing with people who may not be from a Western country, as an example, so they can charge a cheaper price than you. And if they offer the exact same service issue, incredible customer experience as well. It's pretty much, at this point, a race to the bottom on price. And this is what I've shown here. So you may be an agency owner. You think you're like one of these bespoke agency owners. I charge $2,500 for my service, but then you may be competing with someone else who charges $500. And this is the issue when it comes to majority of the marketplace, which are buying these agency services. So let's say content, this is especially what I found with my content agency, ads, lead generation, etc. Every single person wants to pay 1-star hotel prices, but they want to get 5-star service. And this is the issue. They're going to be racing down all the way to the bottom, saying like, oh, cut me a deal, drop down from 2,500 to 500. But the problem is that you're constantly hustling for this. You're putting all your time and energy into this. You may even be running ads if you're starting to make a tiny bit more money with your agency, but your CAC's extremely high. It may be $1,200, $1,500 on ad spend for you to go sign someone for $2,000. What if they're LTVs with you, if you can't get them locked into a contract? Only a month. You're not really making that much money, especially if you then have employees' fees, if you kind of do a more freelancing agency where you basically just arbitrage people from different countries where you have to pay them output based. At the end of it, you may only be left with $100, $200 for all that time and effort you're putting into this, all your ad spend costs for someone literally just to stay with you for a month to 2 months. Is it really worth it? And this is how typically months look. And I know this is the exact same for me. So to be truthfully honest, these last 2 months, because I've really been focused into AI, getting this SaaS platform up and running. So for reference, if you haven't watched my previous videos before, check them out. I'm basically documenting me building an AI SaaS platform. I'll go into it more in a second, meaning that a lot of my time and attention hasn't been on my agency. I'm currently working maybe 60 to 90 minutes a week on it. None at all. This is because I now do have the capital to be able to, get employees, etc. And my revenue went from 2 months ago, 50,000, all the way to this month. We'll probably do 35,000, 30,000. So it's literally kind of just looking like this. In grant, yes, we haven't actually been signing any clients, so I've cut off pretty much any acquisition just to serve the ones we're currently working with. And then, over time, they are just going to drop off because that's the name of the game when it comes to the agency. But it's not that enjoyable, because a lot of the time, this is typically how your Stripe account's going to look, your WAP account. It's pretty demoralizing. And this really comes down to you being viewed as a commodity. Notoriously in the agency space, unless you're crushing it like bad marketing, etc., the LTV is terrible. My LTV is decent. It's 7 months. Last month, I was actually really proud. We were able to get 2 clients with us for a whole entire year. They're still with us. That's incredible. When it does come to content, it is a tiny bit more sticky, especially when you're working with people who is their full-time job. So the 2 people we did it for, these guys are like content influencers. But typically, if we're just serving businesses, we've even seen recently, it's the first time that ever happened to me, which further is going to reinforce my argument in a second. We literally had someone paid me $2,000. We were going to work together for 3 months. We were meant to. They stopped working with me after a month, okay? It's a problem. Meaning I ended up having to, don't quote me on this, I think I spent around $800 to $1,000 to acquire these people, okay? And from there, I then had to pay my editors because when it comes to my editing, I use Arbitrage. I had to pay $400 to editors. So when you actually look at it, did I make that much from them? Not really. And that's the problem. And then here's the other thing which I'm currently doing. And by the way, before I continue, I'm not hating on the agencies at all. My agency changed my life forever. It was a stepping stone to be able to get to the next point. So I do not agree with anyone who hates on agencies. If you are just beginning in business, I will always say this and I will always stand by agencies. It is the best possible thing to get started in. And I'm not like some coach who's going to sell you a 997 course at the end of this. I have nothing to sell you. I just want you to focus on AI, okay? Well, I may have something to sell you down the line with my AI SaaS, but that's going to be like $50, $75 a month, not a 997 course. But so at peak, we have kind of just leaned it down a bit at the moment. But at peak, this is how my operations looked. If you don't believe me, go to the YouTube video I posted maybe 5 months ago at this point. Is titled Inside the Operations of a $500,000 Agency. This is what mine looked like. It is mental, and this is just because of content, editing, scripting, ideating is a very hands-on process. So you had me at the top. I then had 2 managers. No, in fact, I had 3 managers. We'll get onto this in a second, like crazy. And then, these managers were managing the following. So I had 2 copywriters, quality control. I still have quality control. I still have these 2 graphic designers. I fired these 2 people, so goodbye. And then editors. So yeah, at peak, we had 15 editors. I think currently we either have 7 or 8. I can't remember the exact amount, but still a lot for a business which is only, will probably this month only do 35,000. It's a lot of employees. So yeah, it's crazy. So we pretty much, got rid of these. And then when it comes to VAs, I fired all of these, but we used to go heavy, and I'm talking heavy. You can literally see all my videos where I broke it down on cold outreach. And this is how many people, we had a whole entire setup, but that's like another story. It was crazy. And then I had a VA manager managing them, sorry. So yeah, it was a ginormous team for only doing 50,000 a month. Meaning profit margins, they weren't the best. Sometimes they were decent because we paid output based, meaning people only got paid on output. So if clients were sending us many videos, so it was actually funny. During summer, it was either June or July when I was in Miami, I did like 90% profit. And that's because people were paying me retainers, but not a single client that month sent me any videos. So, like that's why you see me in that vlog. I was like buying Hermes, Loro Piana, etc. Because I was up, but now people are in the winter rock. They keep sending me content. So let's just say these profit margins aren't how they used to be. But yeah, and the final problem I faced is, and I'm sure you can probably relate to this depending on what level agency you are. So let's say I have a team, okay? Typically how a business should be run is you have a team, your margins stay the same. Any new client you acquire, you were keeping that money, you were making that money for yourself. That wasn't the case for me because every single person I signed, I then had to hire a new editor. And once it got to the point where the manager couldn't manage all these editors, then someone else. So, as my revenue went up, so did my costs. And that was the issue. So it was really hard for me to, get a lot of profit, which of course you need to, so I can put back into the business, etc. And this became a huge problem. So this really brings me here. Right now, I could go on to consulting. I really just don't want to. Once again, I feel like later down the line, currently not now, but we're currently experiencing an abundance of information. Like in humanity, we've never had access to this level of information ever. You can get it at the click of a finger. There's people who are, even in agencies, dropshipping, etc., they're watching these free trainings on YouTube. They're making their first $10,000. It is crazy. We have an abundance of information right now. Information is no longer the problem. And that's why, but if we rewind 20 years ago, you used to be able to charge so much more for coaching and consultant because information was scarce. Right now, it isn't. And this is why I feel in some sense when it comes to coaching and consulting, over time with like the development of AI agents, etc., it's not going to be needed as much. And it's more so going to be the authority figures who have established themselves with personal brands are going to be the one getting all the clients, and the people also relying on ads, etc. It's not really going to work out. And I'll show you my findings in a second to further back this up. And this is why I'm jumping straight to SaaS. And there's a few reasons why I've really done it. One, AI, which is kind of the whole thing about this video, but there's a few other things. These ones right here to further reinforce what I was on about earlier. Low startup costs. It's the same with coaches and consultants, People are getting 100K, 150K a month, like extremely high profit margins, like 95, 97% profit margins. It is 0%. But once again, you're starting to see tons more people who've literally made like 2K a month in their agency, jumping from this all the way to being a coach after making 2K. They say one client, they probably didn't do a good service. They jumped straight to coaches and consultants. Anyone can start it with no amount of money. And this is where it comes different to a SaaS. You need capital to invest into developments, into research, AI development, okay? Meaning that, if I just draw this out, so every single person can start here. So this is accessible to the whole world, okay? This is only accessible to a small proportion of people, meaning I'm competing with less, but I'm competing with smarter people. But that's fine because there's more of an abundance in the market. And if we take a look at where everything is going in the moment, it's currently leading to SaaS and it's leading to AI. A lot of people are really pivoting from having to use human beings to do a lot of things. because it's expensive. They can only work 8 hours a day. They can't work 24/7. They then need to take breaks. They're not working all the time. So let's actually cut this down. In an 8-hour day, a typical employee's realistically going to work about 5 hours. They're expensive. They have to take weekends off. They then have to take vacations. So for the amount you pay, you're not actually getting too much out of them. And finally, time. They take ages. And we're starting to see a lot of these bigger businesses, even smaller ones, any business, to be honest, is starting to realize this. And we're going to keep seeing an increase in AI. So right here, I have some of my findings. Look at this. So right now, AI, let's just say, 500 billion. Let's call it 700 billion. But look at this trend. It's just an upward trend. And what you need to understand is where money goes to here, money has to go from somewhere else. It's not just going to get lost. And then let's look at the type of, and now let's look at the type of processes which are being performed by AI, which are deemed currently the most valuable to the marketplace. I've highlighted these two. You'll see later why. So face recognition software, voice recognition software. Why are these really being deemed as very valuable to the market? And it's not just in the workplace, it's for personal use as well. So is this showing there's not only a B2B trend, but also a B2C trend? I think you'll find out in a second. And let's keep going. So use of AI, write a social media post. So how are these interlinking face recognition, voice recognition? Is there a potential opportunity that you're no longer the bottleneck? Because let's face it, if you're the owner of a business, you're typically, and especially coaches and consultants and agencies, you're going to be the one creating content. You're the only bottleneck in that process. If you're ill that day, if you're on vacation, content's not being put out unless you've planned ahead. Meaning if that's a huge acquisition process for you, you're the bottleneck. So look at these trends. They're starting to line up. Face recognition, voice recognition, social media posts. Imagine if AI became smart enough to be able to create content for you. You were no longer the bottleneck. And that's where we are starting to head. And let's further look at this. AI breakdown of usage and statistics, benefits of just, this is ChatGPT, but we can kind of just do it as a whole. Generate content quicker, create content in different languages. Imagine if you were no longer just had to serve the Western market who could only speak English. You could serve other markets. A lot more money to be made, and you wouldn't have to duplicate output because AI would be smart enough to do this for you. Generate website copy. Could this suggest you're no longer going to need copywriters when it comes to your funnels, when it comes to your content? I think it could. And let's just keep looking. Methods of using AI. So percentage of business owners who currently or plan to use this method of AI. Content production, 35%. And for me, when I first saw this as an agency owner, I was worried, and you should be too, if you do content as well, a content agency. So this means 35% of the money, which is in circulation around the content world, it's no longer just going to be for you as an agency or human beings. 35% is going to be from AI production. If you're seeing this and you're not freaking out, and look, this is currently in 2024, where it's only valued around 700 billion. If you're trying to be in this business game for the long term, and you're seeing 2032, and you're seeing how crazy and large this upward scale is, and you're not worried, you're going to be out of business. And that's just the truth. 35% in 2024 has gone from, humans doing it all the way to AI. And let's look at this. So currently the, content creation market, so I try to be as specific as I possibly could to really what we do. So ideating, scripting, editing. So this market's evaluated currently at 28.33 billion. So this means 35% of this, so let's round it up to 10 million, has been taken away from our market and given to AI. And alarm bells aren't ringing. If they're not ringing for you, they should be. You're going to see when it comes to editing, scripting, ideating, People are no longer going to want to rely on humans to do it. It takes too long. There's going to be problems maybe when it comes to the captions, the editing styles, and the ideation, the content strategy. People are going to be leaning in more on AI because it's cheaper, because it's far better. And this is why I'm going all in on AI, but more specifically, AI when it comes to content creation. Because let's look at this now. So percentage to watch content marketing is helping businesses generate more leads and more clients. So lead generation, 76% of marketers report that content marketing generates demand and leads, making a 9% point increase from the previous year. 76% of marketers. We could argue, they're marketers, they have a bias, 100%, but that's still a very substantial number. Next, let's look at this benefit, cost efficiency. Currently, marketing costs 62% less than traditional marketing methods, while generating approximately 3 times more leads. So you're seeing this, 62% less, 3 times more leads. You're then looking at this, content production, 35% into AI, the AI trends. And you must be able to piece something together. This is the biggest money generational. This is one of the biggest opportunities ever. And let's look at this final one, B2B effectiveness. 91% of B2B companies state that content marketing generate more leads than traditional marketing strategies. To me, yes, I do think this number seems a lot. I'm not too sure like what countries is counting, etc. So we will say this is a tiny bit high and bring it down to maybe, let's say 75, 80%, still a crazy number. So I hope you're seeing this and starting to understand that businesses are now seeing the importance of creating content. And to go back to where we were when I was on about earlier, how we're right now in an information overload, we are. But what are we also in? We're in a trust recession. I'm sure if you're in the B2B space, every single time you're swiping on your Instagram feed, you always see, if you're a coach or consultant making at least 10K per month and you want to generate more leads, if you're an agency owner doing this and this, you struggle with acquisition, if you do this and this, if you do this and this, you see them so much, the ads look the exact same. We're in a trust recession. You probably didn't trust these people, but if we go back maybe 7, 8 years ago, these weren't as common, meaning that if you saw an ad, you would be more likely to buy from it straight away. This is no longer the case. And look, Google actually released a study breaking this down. In order for a prospect to buy from you, they need to consume 7 hours worth of content across 11 touch points in 4 separate locations. Further going back to the importance of content. This is a lot of content. And the only person within the space who's going to be the bottleneck behind this is going to be the person who films the content. And in most cases, it's going to be the business owner. And they likely have a million other things they need to do. So this could take a while for them to be able to hit that 7 hours, 11 touch points for locations, because they can't just, rely on YouTube, Instagram. They need to make content optimized for multiple different platforms. So these guys are going to be the biggest bottleneck, And this is why I think from you guys hearing this, the problem and solution is crystal clear. We clearly know what the pain is, and we clearly know what the solution is. Content. Most people, when it comes to content, they have no clear strategy, high costs. For reference, we typically charge, I discussed this in my other video, we charge anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 per month for our content. I know I basically cussed it out saying it was a commodity. The reason we're mainly able to do that is because of our case studies. But the problem behind it is, we have to take quite a few sales calls in order to get it. We're currently operating realistically at a 3 to 4 call close, which is crazy. So our sales cycle is very, very long. Put it this way, setters, they don't really like us. So high costs, they may be able to find someone cheaper for $1,000, $500. But how good's the service going to be? Is this going to lead to it being time consuming? They're going to have tire kicker agencies they're working with who literally do nothing for them. Zero ROI, and this really comes down to no clear strategy. The agency promises the world, delivers nothing. And then finally, you, the creator, being the bottleneck. And I think the solution is clear. AI content SaaS solution, and this is exactly what we're developing. So let me break down exactly what it can do. So first and foremost, content calendar. Imagine being able to have everything within a centralized location. You're able to not have to go to multiple different platforms to post. It's all in one area, meaning you can align more easy to the 4 separate locations. Let's keep looking. Scripting, most people are going to have to pay a copywriter a lot of money. We used to have one like $2,500 because you have to get one from like the US or England. If you are going out after a Western society, they are going to want to charge a lot more. So imagine being able to have it all in here, powered by AI, where they have access to hundreds of thousands of different scripts from the top creators within your niche. Think how long it would take a copywriter, a real copywriter, to be able to consume that much content. It would take them years. AI can do it like this, so quick. Next, and this is, in my opinion, going to be the biggest game changer, and it's really going to allow so many people to work with us. This right here, and you can even check it out in my previous video if you want to look at it. This video right here was not done by me. It's an AI avatar. I literally had to look at the camera for 30 seconds, do a couple mouth movements like whoa, just so it could detect how my mouth moved. I then had to, blink a few times, move. All I need to do is get AI to script based upon my business, because it knows it, because I tell it my business on the onboarding process. And by the way, guys, this is actually, as you can see, leaking the interface for our SaaS. So this is pretty much a sneak peek of how it's going to look. So I just need to get AI to make a script. It is then able to make content on demand for me. From here, it is then able to go to the content calendar and post it. There is no bottleneck for a founder within this entire process. It's completely streamlined. And next, competitor analysis. We're yet to make the UI for this, hence why I just have this, but essentially what it can do is you type in your favorite creator, not even favorite creator, maybe a competitor of yours, scrapes their whole entire YouTube, delivers you their videos in chronological order, depending on best performing, best engagement, etc. Download transcript. From here, you then go to the scripter and say, hey, using the scripting structure, this creator used, this competitor used, make me a video about such and such. Whole entire process, once again. Next, what it can do, and you'll see this in this one, I don't think the captions appear, but this can edit it, so it can actually do like the best editing styles, captions, etc. So it's an all-in-one solution, meaning the problem solved, the whole entire problem solved. AI can create a clear strategy for them using the scripting because it understands their whole entire business, has access to different APIs, YouTube, Meta, etc. So it can look at their competitors, the people who are actually crushing it when it comes to creating content, understand why they are doing so well, get inspiration from their strategies and develop it towards that person's business, that person's offer. Next, high costs, completely removed. You can deliver something like this for super cheap. I'm not too sure how much yet we're going to do, but it's not going to be over $100 a month. Guys, like I said, we currently charge between $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Big difference. Next, high kicker agencies. You don't need to work with someone who's posted like 2 dancing TikToks and now says they're a content agency and tries to pitch you for like $1,000. Not anymore. Finally, time consuming. If you don't want to create content, you can just rely on AI avatars. And even if you don't want to show your face, this lady right here, she's another AI avatar. So you're going to have access to so many. So time consuming is done. Zero ROI. You're not, because look at all of these features. It is impossible for you not to make money from it. It is so impossible. And next, you creator are the bottleneck. This just isn't the case, because if you don't want to create content, you don't want to show your face, you do not need to, guys. And this is the thing. And then finally, as a result of me doubling down on this, I've been able to remove this crazy team. I don't need a big team anymore. Right now, I have a few developers working for me, but obviously once they develop this platform, then I don't need them all working for me. We'll just have one on standby in case. I have one VA for customer service. That is all I need. Maybe 2 VAs depending on, time shifts, but put it this way, guys. It's not going to be this crazy big team I need anymore, which is obviously what I want. So guys, like I said at the start, I have no offer. I have nothing to sell you. But what I am going to be doing is, so I'm documenting this whole entire journey on YouTube. Feel free to like and subscribe. If this resonated with you, this video, you found it helpful. Very soon, we're going to be releasing the beta version of this SaaS. We're going to be giving priority, free access to anyone who joins my Discord. It's going to be called Fusion AI. So literally just join below, join the Discord, interact. Depending on how many people join, I may even start doing like Zoom calls once a week where I give you guys tons of game, tell you about my findings. So maybe if you want to start something like this, you can. And yeah, well, thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe, join the Discord, and guys, crush it. Understand that there's never been a better opportunity right now to remove yourself from commoditization, get into something like this. I believe in you guys. I believe in myself to be able to build an incredible SaaS and AI SaaS, and let's just crush it together, guys. I'll see you in the Discord.